Well, Shabbat Shalom. It's a small crowd. Heveinu Shalom Alechem, Alechem Heveinu Shalom, Heveinu Shalom Alechem, Alechem Heveinu Shalom. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Heveinu shalom alechem, alechem heveinu shalom. Heveinu shalom alechem, alechem heveinu, alechem heveinu, alechem heveinu shalom. Shalom. So we'll continue with lighting of the Shabbat candles. Do I have a volunteer? All right. It's page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Continue responsively on the bottom of page 6. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who are burdened. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that could never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So may we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Page 13 at the bottom. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. יירם הים, יירם הים, יירם הים ומלוא. יירם הים, יירם הים, יירם הים ומלוא. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. Page 16. We read together. Sing praise to Adonai with the lyre and melodious song. With trumpets and the blast of the horn, raise a shout before Adonai, the ruler. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands, the mountains sing joyously together at the praise of Adonai. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples with equity. And we continue with Lecha Dodi together on pages 20 and 21. We're doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. La 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 lecha dodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmiyanu El hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litilah. Yalalai, yalalalala lecha dodi, yalalalala likrat kala, yalalalala b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יאללה יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת כלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. Please rise. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה. גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת תקבל, לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 28. Actually, 26 into 28. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, עלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, ושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד. יא אללי, יא לה לה אלי, יא לה 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 אלי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, מעריב ערבים. You called the world into being and spread all the stars in the heavens above. You made the morning and evening, surrounding us daily with signs of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam. Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shokbeinu v'kumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayeinu, ve'orech yameinu, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Oheb Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed. May be seated. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ve'ahavta את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. לה 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 לה. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. יאללה יאללה לה 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 לה. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, שבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. יאי לי, לה לה לה, לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, לה 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 לה, לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We continue responsively, bottom of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision for a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Israel, singing the shores of the sea. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אליינו ואמרו, זה אליינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי. Page 42. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Top of 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, apurei sukhat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I'll ask everyone who is able to please rise. We'll continue on the even-numbered pages, starting on page 46. Na 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 Adonai, na 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 sfatai tiftach, na 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 ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, Ukedoshim b'chol yom yahaleluch hasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. May be seated. Page 53. Days pass, the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Page 57. We read together at the bottom. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yira na'avod. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. Continue on page 60. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov benecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We take a moment to pray in silence. Ratzon imre fi V'hegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali v'goali. I will harden Pharaoh's heart. And then we have all this series of plagues that follow because Pharaoh's heart is so hard. And we have to ask the question, if God hardens Pharaoh's heart and that causes the plagues, how is that fair? How is it fair that Pharaoh gets punished and Egypt gets punished if it's God who's hardening Pharaoh's heart? Why am I talking about Pharaoh? It's nowhere near Passover. That is the Torah portion, yes. It's always funny to have to explain to people why it is that we're reading this story of the Exodus and it's nowhere near Passover. Well, the cycle of reading Torah doesn't have anything to do with the holiday cycle. right? Passover has to be in the spring. As we read the Torah from beginning to end over the course of the year, this just happens to be where we land on the story of the Exodus. A little bit early for Passover, but yeah, here we are. This week we cover the first 6 plagues in this week's Torah portion, and there's a lot of hardening of hearts and a lot of plagues. And again, I have to ask the question, how is that fair? Whoever said God was fair? Well, the important thing is that, the word Torah doesn't mean law. Everybody thinks Torah means the law. Not what it means. How do you say teacher in Hebrew? How? Moreh or morah, the feminine morah. You hear how close that is to Torah? Morah is a teacher. Torah is the teaching. That's what it means. The whole point of Torah is that we're supposed to learn from it. So again, I have to ask, if we're supposed to learn how to be fair and just, doesn't really seem fair that Pharaoh is getting punished for something that if God is pulling the strings, right? It seems horribly unfair. And I have to warn you, I'm cheating a lot, because nowhere in this story does it say that anything about hardening Pharaoh's heart. Hopefully I've got you all stumped now. The problem is we tend to read the story in English, and it's not written in English. As a matter of fact, it's been translated quite a few times before it got to the traditional English translation that we're all familiar with. The original is in what language? Not in Greek. The original text of the Torah, no, it wasn't in Aramaic, although the letters are actually from Aramaic, but the Torah itself is originally in Hebrew. We have it here in its original language. Then it was translated into the Septuagint, the Greek version, by the early church, and then into the Vulgate, the official Latin version, and the King James translation came from that translation. So it was already 2 times removed from the original source. They did a pretty good job, but there were a lot of things they didn't get quite right. And one of them was this whole hardening of the heart business. And because seriously, the word harden doesn't appear in the story. There are actually 3 different words that are used for what happens to Pharaoh's heart. One of them is from the Hebrew word kasheh, which means hard, or hard in the sense of difficult, like a hard question. Right? One of them is actually a word that could either mean, depends on how you read it, could mean heavy or honor, kavod or kaved. And the third one is chazak, which means to strengthen. So it's kind of instructive to look at where all these words are used. The first occurrence of this, it's not the very first, but in this Torah portion, we're in chapter 7 in Exodus, in verse 3, God says, "V'ani akasheh et lev Paro." I'm going to make Pharaoh's heart difficult. This is before any plagues, before any of this has happened. He's giving Moses the instructions. Moses is getting his marching orders. And God says to Moses, I'm going to make Pharaoh's heart difficult. I think this is where the King James translators got the idea of harden from this word. It's not used again. But, once you pick up, okay, this is what's happening with Pharaoh's heart, they just ran with it. But it's the only time that particular word is used. I'm going to make Pharaoh's heart difficult. And the other thing we have to remember is that we're dealing with idioms. We're dealing with things that sound really weird if you translate them literally from one language into another. Right? A great example is when something finds favor in your eyes. What does that mean? It's used in the Bible all the time. In fact, it's still used in modern Hebrew. When you want to say you like something, you say it finds favor. That's just the idiom. It's the way it's done in Hebrew, right? But we wouldn't want to say Life cereal finds favor in Mikey's eyes, because that kind of blows up the meaning, right? Life cereal doesn't find favor in Mikey's eyes. Mikey likes it. That's the way you say that in English, right? So now, here's the puzzle. This next one, to weigh your heart, to honor your heart. That's an idiom. What does it mean in English? We can get it from the context. It's pretty easy. We're having a discussion, right? You're giving me some very convincing arguments. I mean, they're good, solid arguments, and I should be convinced. And maybe I even am convinced, but I don't care. I don't care, because I'm going to dig in and do what I want. We have a word in English for that. What am I being? Say it again. Stubborn. When most of the time in the Bible, when it says that Pharaoh's heart became hard, or God hardened Pharaoh's heart, or however you want to translate it, what it means is Pharaoh got stubborn. It's the best way to read it. And many modern translations go with that, including the one that's in the pew in front of you. The Torah commentary, they use stubborn in those places where the word kaved is used in Hebrew. There's a third one, that chazak, which means to strengthen. I don't know. I think that meaning is a little clearer just on the surface of it, right? Maybe strengthening Pharaoh's resolve. I don't know. It's again, we're translating from one language into another. It's hard to be exact. But have a look at how this goes, right? I'm just going to give you the little snips of where this phrase is used. So before anything happens, God is saying to Moses, I'm going to make Pharaoh difficult, right? Then Moses and Aaron go to Pharaoh, and they turn their rods turn into snakes. And it says, Vayechezak lev paro. Pharaoh's heart got stronger. Pharaoh's resolve he dug in, right? Then God says to Moses, look, kaved lev paro. Now, again, that's the hard one to do, because we have this expression, we have the same expression in English, a heavy heart, and it doesn't mean the same thing. But it means, look, Pharaoh's being stubborn. Then the plagues start. Pharaoh's being stubborn, and the plagues start. First plague, blood. When that plague is done, as soon as the Egyptian magicians are able to mimic that plague, it says, Vechezak lev paro. Pharaoh's heart. I don't want to use the heart language, though, because I think it's easier to do if we just take the meaning, right? Pharaoh's resolve got stronger, right? Then we have the plague of frogs, and as soon as all the frogs are gone, v'achbedet lev paro, Pharaoh became stubborn. Then the next plague is insects, and there's two different, there's lice and flies, if you read it carefully. But after the first bunch, Pharaoh's heart gets stronger. After the second one, it's that his resolve. I don't want to use the word strength. It's hard. It's tricky business, but you get that there's different words in play here. Then we have cattle disease, and Pharaoh dug in some more after that one. And then we have the plague of boils. And the magicians are so annoyed by the boils, they don't even try to mimic that plague. And it says there Vaychazak Adonai et lev paro. This is the first time that God is doing anything involving Pharaoh's heart. And the word is chazak. God strengthens Pharaoh's heart. What's really striking about that is not so much that God strengthens Pharaoh's heart, but that God hasn't been involved yet. We have this image that God is doing stuff to Pharaoh's heart, but if you read it carefully, Pharaoh got stubborn, Pharaoh dug in, Pharaoh got, he resisted, Pharaoh was being obnoxious. And it's not until you get to plague number 5 that God does anything. And what does God do to Pharaoh's heart? Makes it stronger. God is making Pharaoh more Pharaoh. And then finally we finish up the Torah portion with the plague of hail. And after the hail, Pharaoh digs in again. Pharaoh, not God. And we see it another time, and Pharaoh's heart got stronger. Pharaoh, resolve got stronger. So it's happened 9 times in this week's Torah portion that something went on with Pharaoh's heart. I'm sorry, it happened 10 times. 9 of those times, it was Pharaoh doing the thing. Pharaoh got stubborn. Pharaoh dug in. And one of those, number 10, God made Pharaoh's heart stronger. So he continued to be stubborn and dig in. What meaning do we draw from this? But if you notice, aside from the plagues themselves, God's not doing much to Pharaoh. Right? You would think if you only read God hardened Pharaoh's heart and Pharaoh is saying no, 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 then it's not Pharaoh's fault. But if you read the text, Pharaoh's doing all of it. It's Pharaoh who's saying, oh, yeah, okay, just make it stop. And then he changes his mind and he gets stubborn. He says, no, you can't go anywhere. To really make sense out of this, I got to go all the way back to when I was in cantorial school and I got a call from my grandmother. My grandmother, of blessed memory, called me because, as a cantorial student, I was the family's resident expert in Jewish things. She had gone to a Bible study with some of her friends, and they read this verse in Exodus, a little further on in Exodus chapter 34, where it says that God will visit the transgressions of the parents on their children and the children's children to the 3rd and 4th generation. And she got a little worried. She was worried that her children and her grandchildren, that would be me, would be punished for bad things that she did in her life. And I said, Grandma, a couple things you got to know. First of all, context in Jewish Torah study. This is why it's like, I'm not saying don't ever study Bible with Christians, but it's not that it's wrong, it's just a different approach. Christians will tend to take a verse or a piece of a verse and make a whole lot of hay about what that means. In Jewish Bible study, in Torah study, context is king. You can't understand a verse in isolation. You've got to know what comes before it, what comes after it, to understand really what it's all about. And in this case, the context is actually one that might even be familiar. We pray it a couple of times on the high holidays. It's the verse that goes, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim V'Rav Chesed V'Emet. God, God, merciful and gracious, patient and true, showing mercy to the 1,000th generation, forgiving transgression and sin, but holding the guilty accountable, visiting the iniquity of parents upon the children and the children's children to the 3rd and 4th generation. So yes, it's in there, 3rd and 4th generation, of people who are bad, people who are good, for 1,000 generations. And to interpret this, the rabbis went back to Pharaoh. And they said, look, Pharaoh's just being Pharaoh. God doesn't make Pharaoh do anything. Pharaoh's already stubborn and obnoxious, and you can read it right in the story. All God does is help him be more stubborn and obnoxious. If you want to understand punishing to the third and fourth generation, what you have to understand is that in Judaism, people aren't born evil. And they aren't born good. People are born neutral. In every minute of every day, we always have choices that we can make. We can either choose well or we can choose poorly, but we always have choices. And the idea is, well, there are a couple of ideas here, but if you choose well most of the time, if you're a good person, you get not only your merit, but also the merit of people going back for 1,000 generations. That's what it's saying here. On the other hand, if you choose to be evil, right, you bear not only your own guilt, but also any guilt incurred by your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. Still, it's like 4 generations versus 1,000, so the scale is way tipped in favor of good. But it's important to remember that we always have the power to move that needle. And God will help, just like God helped Pharaoh be more Pharaoh. If you start doing good things, if you're kind to people, if you hold the door open for somebody, be charitable, it becomes easier and easier to go down that path. That, according to Jewish tradition, is God helping you to be on that path. The same, unfortunately, is also true if you're bad. If you make a lot of bad decisions, right? The first time you do something bad, it can be scary, right? You do it a lot, it becomes normal, it becomes easier. So if you continue to be like Pharaoh, God will also step in like 1 time out of 10 and just make it a little bit easier. The point is, it's not God pulling the puppet strings, it's us. We always have the ability to move that needle in the direction we choose. And the important thing is to choose to move that needle to the good side. Just remember, nobody's perfect. No one can make only good decisions. Look, Moses killed somebody. Abraham lied. I don't know what my grandmother did, but she was really worried about it. Everybody makes mistakes. The important thing is, what are you going to do next? So just remember, like every minute, every day, we always have that ability to choose. Choose wisely. It's fun to go from that to Aleinu, because the very first word in Aleinu literally means it's on us. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Kaddish is on page 294. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, including one who is in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days, Harriet Baskin. And on this Shabbat, we remember Carrie Abrams, Helen Evans, David Beckerman, Serge Bender, James Berger, Bernard Cohen, Stella Cohen, William Crane, Julius Curson, Juanita Early, Sarah Fisher, Jacob Gersheimer, Alan Goodman, Bessie Knobloch, Morris Knobloch, Samuel Kozlov, Anita Lipson, Bertha Loeb, Fanny Loeb, Nettie Loeb, Goldie Natenblut, Ida Rapp, Eugene Riegler, Alvin Rothstein, Elias Schulhoff, Louis Schwartz, and Raymond Tragesser. We remember those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chilutei, yamlich malchutei, chayachon v'yomechon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי תקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו אמן. We don't have any young people here tonight because it's late. Should we save Kiddush for the social hall or do it here? What do you think? All right. Well, in that case, page 5.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
I think we will wait to do Motzi till we get in there. Do we have anyone doing announcements tonight? Right. Can you do from up here so that people watching online can hear you? Thank you. Probably have more people at home tonight than here.
Okay. Many events to look forward to, including a Shabbat dinner 2 weeks from tonight, the community Shabbat, long range, the Mediterranean Night celebration with the Bayless Award on the 5th of April. But I do want to draw everybody's attention specifically to Rabbi Michelson's participation in the Walk for the New Journey Community Outreach Soup Kitchen and Food Bank. And I ask everybody to join the rabbi in that mitzvah. The information is right in the second page of the announcements and also in today's email and many future emails. Shabbat Shalom.
I'll leave you tonight with a blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you with good and keep you safe. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God be with you and be kind to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. May you always know that God is close, and may God give you the gift of peace. Shabbat Shalom.